So in a series where we desire to understand God's will in our lives, where we look to Scripture and we seek God's character, we can't help but to see mercy and grace. So as we ask ourselves the question, how committed am I to the mission of Jesus, we have to also ask, much like we did last week when we talked about flexibility, how willing am I to admit that I need God's mercy and grace? How willing am I to admit that I don't have it all figured out just yet? How willing am I to recognize that maybe I shouldn't be so quick to assume that I'm the hero in the story? It is important for us to be able to associate with something lost. A sheep, a coin, even a son or a daughter who has squandered their inheritance. It's good for us to be reminded of our lostness. And it's also good to celebrate that we've been found. We're found because we are pursued by God's grace. We're found because we're recipients of God's mercy. But we can't think that just because we're here on a Sunday morning that we've suddenly flipped the script, that we've arrived, that we've made it, that we're done, that our role has somehow transformed. That we're the center of the story, because we're not. Yes, we hope that we become more and more like Jesus every day. That I'm more like Jesus than I was yesterday, and that I'll be more like Jesus tomorrow than I am today. That's our hope. But look at the world we are living in. We're bombarded by examples of failure to recognize that we are collectively, as a human race, created in the image of God. Going after one sheep doesn't make the other 99 less valuable. The lost coin isn't worth more or less than the 9 that remain. Being lost or needing correction or needing mercy and grace doesn't make someone less valuable to God. So if you're sitting here and for some reason today you're carrying something that makes you think that you're less valuable to God, think again. To my friends online, if you're watching, trying to be anonymous, thinking, I just got to get my life back together and then I'll come back to church, but I'm good from a distance. Think again, because we are all recipients of God's mercy and God's grace.